Okay, so this is Sunny from Riftology. I am going to talk a little bit about the Cleric, more about the casting Cleric. Um, right now I'm running an Inquisitor build. You can see we got an Inquisitor build here with Sub-Cabalist and Warden. I'm currently level 36. This is average level that most people are right now. And I am going to basically tell you guys what I am using as this build. This is actually a really awesome build. I can normally take down creatures that are 2 to 4 levels higher than me with no problem at all. Okay, so as you can see here, we got our primary points in Inquisitor, and then we have additional points in Cabalist with just 5 points in Warden. Okay, let me explain a little bit about these points. So we have 5 points in Inner Focus and in Frantic's Faith. This is to increase the damage that we do for our critical hits and to have more critical hits. We have 5 points in Cascation. That's so that our main ability, which is Bolt of Judgment, has its casting time reduced by 0.5 seconds. And that 0.5 seconds is crucial because if not, it would be a 2-second cast. And that means that every four casts, we get an additional cast for free because you get that half second shaved off. Okay, and then we have 5 points in mental resilience, which increases the vex. Mainly, what we're focusing on is the vex damage, but it also increases the strength damage by 50%. And then over on the Warden tree here, we have 5 points in Destructive Tide. This increases our instant cast spells, the damage output by 10%, and that is for our Vex and for our Sanctum Heroics, however you say that. And then we have the rest of our damage increasing points in Stroke of Genius, which increases our spell power by 5%. Then we have Death Grasp and Etropery, however you say it. I'm terrible at these names. Sorry, I'm messing this stuff up. We have 3 points in each. This increases the spell damage by 3%, and this increases the damage for channeled spells and dots by 3%. So these are all damage increasing points that we're putting in here. Now we do have 2 primary ways of healing ourselves. Our Vex is going to heal us for 9% of the damage done, and since we're increasing the damage of that with all our points, we're going to get a lot more healing out of that. And we also have Healing Spray, which is provided by the Warden tree, which is going to put a hot on us for 12 seconds. It's going to heal us for a certain amount too. And then for control, we have Crushing Wave, which is going to knock back the mob for a certain amount of distance, and then we have Impede, which is going to put a 30% snare on them for 8 seconds. It's going to make it so that they have to run a little bit, so that they're not running as fast to you when you knock them back, which gives us a little extra casting time. So this is going to be the build here. I'm going to go ahead and link the build underneath this video, and also link the level 50 build of what it's going to look like at level 50, so that you can actually compare and contrast, see where you're going to put points as you level up past level 36. So let's go ahead and just see what this rotation is going to look like. I'm in a nice little area here where I can kind of kill these level 38 fresh rend shamans. So like I said, I'm a level 36. They are level 38, 2 levels higher than me. The name tag is still yellow level, so they are still harder than normal. They're not green tag. They're still harder than normal to kill. But you're gonna see that it just comes so easily with this build to just knock them down a peg, and you're barely gonna lose any life here. You'll notice that your life barely moves, and their life is just gonna drop. So let's go ahead and let's just show you what this looks like. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put, let me just go through the rotation real quick. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cast the healing spray on us. That's going to put a hot on us so that throughout this fight, we're going to constantly be healing ourselves. And you can see right now that it's going to be healing us for 390 or 369. So then we're going to cast Vex, and then 90% of whatever damage that we do, since this is the dot, it's going to heal us continuously. It's going to turn that dot, basically 90% of that dot, into a hot for us. So we're going to have the hot from Vex, and we're going to have the hot from Healing Spray on us at the exact same time. So we're going to have a double heal here. Then we're going to also cast Sanctum Heretic. And this is going to put a dot on them. It's going to do a certain amount of damage to them, life damage to them, and then it's going to put a dot on them. And then immediately afterwards, you'll have the mobs fairly close to you by that point. We're going to go ahead and cast Crushing Wave. This is going to knock them back further, and then we're gonna cast Impede, which is going to put a snare in them for 30% of their run speed. So they're going to be coming back to you slightly slower. So this is going to give you enough time to cast Soul Drain. And the reason why we cast Soul Drain is not because it doesn't really hit harder than our Bolt of Judgment. Actually, it doesn't hit harder. It's just a fact. It doesn't hit harder than Bolt of Judgment. But what it does, if we look at the points that we put into Clinging Spirit, Soul Drain increases the magic damage that each enemy takes by 7%. So we're going to go ahead and pop that first. And then we're going to go ahead and spam Bolt of Judgment. Normally about 3 or 4 casts of this and the mob's going to be dead at this level. So let's just see what that looks like. So we're going to start, before we even do the pull, we're going to start with the hot. Let's move into range. We're going to cast that. We're going to back up so we can keep our range. Then Crushing Blow, Impede, Soul Drain, Bolt of Judgment. You notice we ever get 2 casts before he even got to us. Bolt of Judgment, another Bolt of Judgment. Look at my health. My health is barely moving. You can actually see that it's going up throughout the course of this fight. And that's it. It's done. I barely lost any life, barely lost any mana, and it is dead. And you can see that that wasn't that's a level, that was a level 38 mob here. You know, that was 3,000 health we went through. At the same amount of health as me. So, and we'll do it again. We'll cast this hot. Vex. Back up. Crushing Wave. Impede. Now Impede is not on the global cooldown, so that you can cast that immediately after you cast Crushing Wave here. Because if you don't know what the global cooldown is, every single time you cast a spell, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can cast the next one. Being off the global cooldown means that you can cast this even if the other spells are waiting to be cast. So you can't cast it during the cast, but you can cast it immediately after. And so it's very awesome because you can cast Crushing Wave, and before it even hits the ground, after it's knocked back, before it even hits the ground, you'll have Impede on it, which will snare it. The second that it hits the ground, it'll be snared. Now, sometimes Crushing Wave doesn't work. It's okay. They're not, these mobs are not going to do too much damage to you because you do have that hot on you. So you should be okay. So we need to make sure that we always have our Seal of Power on, just in case you pull any additional mobs. You'll always be able to do your AoE here. And then we have Spiritual Protection, which is going to increase our life and death resistance. And I like to use Armor of Awakening. What that does is increases our health regenerate by 50%, our mana regenerate by 10%, because when you're killing tons of mobs over and over and over, you tend to go through mana pretty quickly, and having a faster regen rate really does help you not have to use pots all the time. And if you've ever played a caster, you know that you're just going through pots over and over and over. Just look at my health here. It's barely even moving. Like nothing. Nothing even moved. It throughout that entire fight, I lost 300 health. This mob is 2 levels higher than me. 2 levels higher than me. Okay, and the last one is Armor of Treachery, which increases your armor. If you're fighting against like a level, let's just say I'm level 36, and you're trying to fight and kill a level. I'm trying to fight and kill a level 39 or 40. I might pop that on and increase the armor, because I'm gonna be taking a little bit more hits because the mob is gonna be on me a little bit longer. But it also increases your damage from your abilities by 3%. So that's good too. You know, you get a little bit stronger and you get to do a little bit more damage. I prefer this because I can just kill mobs one after another, and that mana regenerate is just killer. You know, I don't want to go through my pots over and over and over. You know, have to keep running back to the cities. All right, so that has been my build for the Inquisitor for your Cleric at level 36. I will do an updated video at level 50 to tell you if anything has changed, but I'm pretty confident that this rotation is probably going to be pretty much the same until you start getting into raiding. I'm sure when we start doing raiding, it's gonna be a little bit more circumstantial, and you'll see that you're going to be using a bigger range of abilities than just them abilities that I showed in this video. So make sure that you go ahead and if you're watching this somewhere else, you go to riftology.co.cc. That's where you're going to find the article where I write up a little bit more detailed about this video, and see more information about Rift and the Rift community. I'm Sunny from riftology.co.cc.